Welcome to day 2 of Vlog Week, where I do a vlog every day for a week. As I alluded to in yesterday's vlog, today I'm going to be talking about the difference between performing and just being a woman. So I made a video a couple of years ago called Gender is Irrelevant. And this was mostly talking about the idea of gender as a social construct separate from sex, essentially making the claim that you can't say that there is any definitionally male or female behavior beyond ones that are like directly incidental to literal, physical being, like what your organs do, I guess. Because there are so many different ways that men and women have, so many different roles they have filled throughout cultures, throughout the world, throughout history. So many outliers to those cultures, people who have just acted differently from anyone else. And so how can you really say that this or that is masculine or feminine behavior? And so, like, I still feel that way about gender as a social construct. But, like, for me, being a trans person is not about wanting to be recognized as a woman in the sense that, like, I don't want people to call me female pronouns because of the fact that I want to feel like I have been recognized as a woman, necessarily, so much as that feeling as though I've been recognized as a woman makes me feel more like I am one, which is the goal. Is that I just want to be a woman. And it's difficult to, like, explain or understand why. Like, from the research I've done, there's tons of different factors that go into what might make someone develop this way. Like, there's an element of just biologically being... the fact that you can change genders is because your body has the capabilities of both, like, within, like, you just gotta give it the right signals to release the right stuff or generate the right stuff to make it develop in different ways. So, like, it could be that I already had, like, disproportionate levels of estrogen from the beginning, or was just, like, especially effeminate. Because I've always been, people have always mistaken me for a girl growing up. So, like, it could be because of the fact that in the early years of my life, my mom was mostly around and, like, I just maybe imprinted, the idea that I am the same as her. Just, like, in absence of looking up to my dad at all in, like, the early years of my life, just the sheer amount of wanting to be just like my mom convinced me that I was, or something. I have no idea, because, again, when I was a kid, like, the fact that people called me a girl bothered me, because I just thought they were wrong, like, just scientifically, on the basis of, I don't have the correct genitalia for that. But, like, behaviorally, any avoidance I had of femininity was deliberate. Like, I did not dislike the girly things I encountered, except in that I was actively attempting to. And, like, I would often see feminine things, like, that appealed to me that I, rejected, whereas masculine things just did not appeal to me for the most part. And I did, after a certain point when my parents kind of realized that, like, I was, getting made fun of for being girly and stuff, they tried to help me to be more of a boy, and it didn't work. I did Cub Scouts for years, but only because my mom was the den leader, and, like, we did the meetings at my house, and I only did as much as she would do with me, like, anything, I would not do anything by myself, and I did not really enjoy going camping or doing any of that kind of stuff as a kid. My dad tried to, teach me how to play different sports. I hated all of them. I was terrified of getting hurt, and I played baseball for like 3 years in elementary school, was terrible, sat in the outfield the entire time, never improved, and I only kept doing any of these things because I thought that, like, for whatever reason, my parents wanted me to, but, like, And they would ask, like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'd just be like, "Yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I? I have nothing else that I want to do with myself, except go play video games all day, every day." Which is what I should have done, because then I would have had the skills that have become necessary in this new world, and I would be a Twitch streamer. But instead, I'm terrible at video games. So, you know, like, for me, at this point, like, how do I describe to you why would I want to, like, physically be a woman, and, like, what would that change about my life or anything? Like, I know what the effects of estrogen on the body typically are, like what changes it's supposed to bring about in you. And in knowing that, I've, like, tried deliberately to, like, just be more like that, you know, like, and I like that effect, like, to just feeling more capable. I feel more capable of being emotionally open because I feel closer to who I am supposed to be. And, like, just, you know, treating myself as a woman, especially physically, helps me to, like, feel, again, like, closer to how I feel like I'm meant to feel, I guess. So, like, it's a complicated thing to try to describe, but, like, when I try to act as though I was physically a woman, then the way that causes my behavior to change, like, is something that I enjoy, I guess. And that brings us again back to this odd disconnect of, like, how much can you ascribe, you know, behavioral change to a sex difference, you know, like, if I'm already acting differently when I have not taken any anti-androgens or estrogen, you know, then is it just, like, does it matter that I would go that extra step? I guess I'm going to find out, because it's like, for me, I don't feel like I don't want to be performatively feminine all the time. I don't think most women do. I think that everybody has different faces, you know, different sides of themselves that they show to different people. And, like, the most feminine side of myself is, you know, something that is fun to be with, I guess, for some people, but, like, it's not an entertainment personality. Like, the person I am in the bedroom is not the person who's on screen, you know, like, and it's not, like, something that has a use in a context beyond that. So, like, to me, you know, being, like, hyper effeminate has contexts where I feel it's appropriate or comfortable, but, like, it's not my default state to always be, like, girly, and nor do I want to have to, like, women already, you know, like, regular women. Oh God, I can't even talk about, like, myself without saying things that I feel like would be, you know, like, would potentially hurt somebody else. Go men. But, like, women have to do a lot of upkeep to look good, you know, to, like, look beautiful, to be attractive, sought after women. And, like, it's always been hard for me to, like, I'm like a no makeup type, you know, like, my feelings about women are changing a lot, so it's hard for me to, like, really even put into context, like, I don't know, am I even attracted to women in a traditional sense, or am I just, like, because of the fact that I happen to have male genitalia, like, you know, when I get emotionally close to a woman, does it just make me, you know, like, does it just activate, like, that sort of instinct? And, like, that's a big part of why I want to transition, is to not feel, like, I'm hoping to not feel sexual attraction to women, at least not because of the fact that I biologically, you know, am compelled to. Like, if I could feel that, you know, it was because of emotional circumstances, and not just, like, oh, like, you know, your body is saying you gotta fucking try to have a relationship with this person that you're just trying to be friends with, you know? Like, I hate that. And I want that to go away if possible. And, like, you know, I enjoy being with men and women. It's all emotional for me, pretty much. So I guess, like, performing as my idea of femininity, or at least, like, as an idea of a kind of femininity that I would want to be, you know, like, acting like a moe girl makes me feel more like a girl. And so it's fun to do. But it doesn't mean that I think that that makes me more of a girl. You know, like, I don't think that, you know, having people treat me differently or, you know, make jokes about it or not make jokes about it or whatever, like, anything. I don't think any kind of, you know, there's no, like, differential treatment that is appropriate necessarily, but my perspective on myself and all my relationships is different because of the fact that I'm viewing the world through a different lens of not having a lot of questions I used to have, you know, of, like, okay, accepting the idea that you are a woman, that the things you say do matter, and that you know, you are no longer, I don't know if I'm trying to say I'm pretending, like, no longer pretending I'm not attracted to men, I guess. Like, I guess I just never thought that I just never thought I would be because I am not gay. You know, I'm not a gay man. I'm a straight woman, which, this is, like, all the kind of stuff, like, you can literally just take everything in this video and post it to certain websites, and they will consider all of it to be a joke, you know, and other people will be like, this is fucking fixing my life to hear you talk about these things. And honestly, it's impossible to say, like, who is right or wrong, because ultimately the context is living in society, which is harder. So I consider myself to sort of have two almost distinct personalities. One of them is my emotional side that is very, very, very much attached to being a woman. And the other is my logical side, which likes being a woman, especially likes looking cool like this and saying good things, but also has to take a step back and say, A, this is going to make your life really hard, and B, a lot of people are going to be against everything you say on all sides. A lot of men inherently don't want anything I say about this issue to be true, inherently do not want to view me as a candidate for being considered a woman, and a lot of women will feel the same way. And it's extremely difficult for me to navigate that. But, you know, I've already been navigating all kinds of fucking absolute madness that it's come out of my mouth. It's just that this is the only one I've ever actually cared about. So that's what makes it so different. Like, none of the other shit I've ever said, none of the other controversial opinions or takes or whatever the fuck, I've never given a fuck. Like, it was, to me, the idea that Digibro, this male character that's not actually me, is saying these things meant that none of it mattered. The only thing that would ever matter would be to come out as a woman and then have to discard all of my incorrect opinions that I was able to blame on my fictional character that I played. And, like, it's just, like, I guess my performance of femininity, there are elements of it that come very naturally, elements of it that I'm doing deliberately or changing the way I act in order to feel closer to being physically a woman. And some of those things feel really good. Sometimes I might do something and then kind of be like, is this necessary? Like, are you just like, is this, you know, is it bad feminism to allow yourself to behave in a gender stereotype way because it makes you feel more like you are a woman instead of just accepting at all times that you just are. But like, how do you do that when your body is not all the way there, you know? So, you know, I have an appointment to talk to a doctor to start HRT in early December, I think December 5th. So, like, you know, I'm going to report back as the journey continues. But, like, to me, that will make it so much easier to not have to navigate this, because it's, I don't care if anybody else would accept that I am a woman. It's about accepting myself. And the biggest hurdles in the way of that are that A, I grow hair really fast. You know, I've shaved my face today, but like, this thing is, if you've seen Content, like, I'm never more than a day away from a shave on that show. Like, if I seem scruffy, it's because it's, you know, it's like 12 hours to get that way. And, you know, I grow hair on most of my body, so I have to shave like everything every 4 days. Pain in the ass. But I can't not do it anymore. Like, the dysphoria I feel when I see like body hair, it, you know, it just makes me not feel like a woman, and I can't, like, it makes me feel like less of a woman, and I can't go back. Like, it's too emotionally harrowing because it makes me feel like I'm making negative progress in my overall life. And the fact that I have consistently been like shaving, keeping my nails painted, growing my hair. Again, these are stereotypes. You know, women shouldn't have to shave all the time. They shouldn't have to paint their nails or wear makeup, which I haven't even gotten into that world. I haven't been threading my eyebrows yet, and I know that's the like biggest thing keeping me from passing in most contexts is too big of bushy eyebrow, little bit too much of receding hairline. You know, these are all problems that HRT is supposed to fix, and like, they might just be, or seem at least, aesthetic, but like, you know, it creates just, again, there's a lot of different, like, almost everything that I know the difference to make is something that I want. So, like, yeah, it's a strange feeling of like, oh, I'm closing the gap. Like, the gap between my ability to just say, like, you just are a woman, stop having these imposter syndrome doubts just because, like, you know, like, there's all this science, there's all these fucking other people you've talked to, there's so much precedence for the idea that you are allowed to consider yourself a woman, and that if, you know, there are, just because some women might disagree, doesn't mean that, like, they are the automatic authority on, like, what it means to be a woman, because, again, there is no what it means to be a woman other than that, like, you just, like, are. But, like, what does it mean to are if you, I don't know, but, you know, I've decided to listen to the science, and listen to my heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. See you tomorrow.